KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. 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 If we care enough.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes 2 to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
So today I'm going to take on something related to empathy, and I'm going to call it something that once I'm done with it, you're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. So pay attention. I'm going to talk about something called performative empathy. As you listen to this video, I'd love it if you could drop in the video notes. You're like, oh my goodness, I know what she's talking about. Maybe throw a few examples if you feel comfortable. But I think some of you are going to really get this when I talk about this. It's something more and more clients have been bringing to my attention. And I thought, let me share this with you so we can actually have the word for what's happening in these relationships. Let's talk about this idea of performative empathy. So let's start by talking about empathy. Empathy is the pivot, right, on which this entire narcissism thing turns, isn't it? The absence of empathy, or at least the very inconsistent nature of the empathy, is why narcissism and narcissists really aren't made for any kind of close relationships. People who fall into relationships of any kind with narcissists, though, often have too much empathy, right? I would argue that overall, there isn't enough empathy in the world that we live in right now, and that fact, if us not having enough empathy in the world has really had terrible effects on the world we live in. But the problem is most people in those narcissistic relationships have too much empathy, if that's possible. Yet the narcissistic folks walk around the world believing that they are so empathic, and other people actually believe it. And why is that? How is it that the least empathic people in the world have managed to trick other people into believing that they are empathic and that they themselves, the narcissists, actually believe that they are empathic? How the hell did that happen? Well, it comes down to something I'm calling performative empathy, or we could even call it empathy light. Narcissistic folks are really good at doing things that can sometimes look to the world as being nice and empathic when there is an audience. This is the kind of person who makes a great ceremony out of helping an older person across the street when lots of people are watching, or loudly offers to take out the trash at a dinner party, or rescues a bird and posts it on Nextdoor and social media, or keeps bringing parcels of food to an elderly neighbor, or brings home lots of takeout for everyone. And even all of you are thinking, Dr. Romney, damn, you are cynical, girl. That seems empathic. Aren't those things empathic? Huh? Does it? Let's take that apart. Empathy is meant to be consistent. So that bird rescuer, or that food bringer over, or that trash taker outer, after the people leave the dinner party, or when they are alone with their family or with their employees, the real question is, how do they behave then? Are they empathic then without an audience? If the very same person who is nursing that little bird with an eyedropper is able to be invalidating and raging and demeaning and abusing the people close to them, I'm sorry, then that's just empathy for display. That on display empathy, that's what we call performative empathy.
Dr. Romney ain't playing with y'all. And neither is Zoe Williams. The voice of reason returns to the airwaves on KBLA Talk 1580. Somebody in the chat, I think it was Truemonger, called it thespian empathy. See, a lot of people see empathy as a tool, right? You know, kind of like what Big Mama used to say when she would say something like, you get more with honey than you do with salt, right? And really what that is saying is, in order to maneuver, right, in order to get to where you're trying to go, even if you don't like a person, even if you, and this is Big Mama, right? And we're not talking about empathy just yet. This is just Big Mama saying, this is how you move and navigate people, right? Even if you don't like that person, you don't let them know you don't like them. And you smile and you do a little light chit chat with them, and you keep it pushing so that they don't get in your business, so that they don't get wrapped up with you. Listen. A lot of people use empathy as a tool of manipulation. See, what we're starting to find out, Dr. Romney has already started to talk about the numbers, right? It is estimated or guesstimated that 1 in 6 people are narcissistic, right? We know everybody has narcissistic traits, but when you start drilling down, this is why I'm doing this series of shows about narcissism, because so many people, and people are right about this, they have taken this term and just ran with, oh, you narcissistic, that's narcissism, but not really knowing that there's a distinct difference between someone with narcissistic traits, someone that is, and someone that has been diagnosed, clinically diagnosed as having NPD. But then even within that, there's still layers to peel on that onion. Are they grandiose narcissists? Braggadocious? Yeah, let me get the trash. Just to send a message that they're the good person? Or are they a covert narcissist? A narcissist that feigns vulnerability, right? Oh, and then there's another. Are they a malignant narcissist? And as you've seen over the past couple of weeks, we've talked about narcissistic texting patterns. We've talked about the love bombing stage. We've talked about the slow devaluation stage. We've talked about the final and cold-blooded discard stage. And tonight, we're going to go even deeper. Because you know the through line in narcissists and people with narcissistic traits is that they lack empathy. In other words, they cannot put their feet in your shoes. They cannot feel how you feel. But they've learned to move throughout society and amongst people, looking, acting, and even feeling as if they do. Tonight's topic, cold-blooded. A riveting look into the lives of relational method actors. What does cold empathy mean when referring to narcissistic behavior? How does the concept of cold empathy relate to narcissistic behavior, particularly in the context of relationship method actors? Can empathy be learned and developed in adulthood, especially for individuals embodying the traits of cold-blooded relationship method acting? What distinguishes emotional empathy from cognitive empathy? And how do these forms of empathy manifest in intimate relationships? In the realm of relationship dynamics, how do you define and interpret the significance of empathy? Let me tell you something. Narcissists are so cold-blooded. Do you know narcissists have mastered the sandwich technique? They can start a conversation complimentary. They can start a conversation light about something frivolous, then get to the meat of what they really called about or what they really want to talk to you about. And then they'll end it with a nice little button, right? Maybe you need to be shown some empathy, and narcissists are aware you might need to feel like I care. And this is how they maintain what? Their supply. Isn't this interesting? Can you identify and effectively express the three types of empathy in the portrayal of complex relationship dynamics? Oh, this is about to get deep. See, a lot of people don't even know. You think that person likes you. You think that person cares. No, that person may have an agenda, and just like Big Mama said, they might be putting honey on it so they can get the desired result. When I come forward, have you dealt with someone like this? Get to your phone lines. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey Californians, are you ready to make your home ownership dreams come true? The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program might be for you. First-generation homebuyers can get down payment and closing cost assistance along with a first mortgage to help you unlock the door of your new home. Applications open in April, so talk to an approved lender to see if you're eligible. Find out more at calhfa.ca.gov/dream or call 877-922-5432. A message from the California Housing Finance Agency.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
1455 Frazee Road, Suite 1050, San Diego, California, 92108. CordellCordell.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm here with clinical psychologist and narcissism expert, Dr. Ramani. Dr. Ramani, when is the first time that you heard of the phrase dark empath?
I heard it for it's a few years back, and I think the term's been floating around for a while. I think some of it relates to the whole issue around, we hear people talking about like the dark triad and the dark tetrad and sort of the dark empath. And there's, people talk about different kinds of empathy, right? And I think that this was capturing people who had a certain kind of empathy structure, because there's cognitive empathy, there's emotional empathy, there's compassionate empathy, right? And they serve different functions. But then this idea that people could have cognitive empathy but not have those other forms of empathy, that got constructed into this idea of the dark empath.
Understood. So when we talk about dark empaths, are we talking about narcissists?
Yeah, I think we're slapping another label on narcissism here. I really, really do. And when I've read it, and I'm like, I'm struggling a little with the difference. Maybe the one difference that jumps out at me is that the the dark empath is not the attention validation seeking, which is sort of almost a requirement in narcissism. Dark empath may not have that element. So if you're using that construct purely, the dark empath, you may not have that attention seeking piece in it, but everything else feels like narcissism. And I think the fallout of such a relationship with a dark empath would be the same as we'd see in any narcissistically abusive relationship.
What do you mean there are different types of empathies, cognitive versus emotional empathy, for example?
So cognitive empathy is understanding a person's emotions, right? So like, I understand that this person feels really angry because their husband cheated on them. I understand that this person feels really resentful because somebody who wasn't as good as them got promoted, right? It's a getting it, right? Understand. You look at a movie, you don't know these people. So you understand why they did what they did. In a way, it's almost not only it's understanding feelings, maybe even understanding motivations, but it's a kind of a getting it. It's a very intellectual kind of approach to empathy. And the problem with cognitive empathy, to me, is for too many people, it sort of passes for empathy. Right? To me, it's intellectual, right? And I think people fall for, well, they said they get how I feel. I'm like, all right, now like, show me how that's got to be backed up with some emotion. And that's where we get into emotional empathy, which is really sort of entering a feeling space like, oh my gosh, like I feel so sad right now. You know, I feel they're so sad and I want to be there. And it's more identifying with the emotion. It's the not only just getting it, but really identifying you. And when we have emotional empathy, we calibrate to that. So if we were laughing and yucking it up, and then we are encountered with somebody who's going through something difficult, our emotional state calibrates to that as well. We meet them where they're at. When we talk about compassionate empathy, now it gets translated into action. Oh my gosh, you're going through so much. I am so sad. I'm so sorry. Can I get your kids from school tomorrow? What can I do to help out here? You know, you sit and you listen. Even though you are busier than you've ever been in your life, you actually stay on the phone for the hour with your friend instead of saying, wow, that sounds really sad.
Man, Dr. Romani be laying it flat for ya. Cognitive empathy. Basically, they intellectually understand how you feel, but they lack the ability to experience it for themselves. They can't feel how you feel. Now, I've been accused of not being, empathetic enough, or not feeling, or not understanding, what someone is feeling. I've been there. But I'm not a narcissist, right? But I do believe I have some narcissistic ways, some tendencies. I can own that. But if you, I'm this person. If you speak my language, I connect with you empathetically. Like music is my language, right? If you speak my language, play a record and say, this is how you made me feel, you're going to elicit an emotional response from me. And I think part of that has to do with me being a Gemini. I'm really big on clear communication. And sometimes, you might meet people who can't really articulate how they feel. And so when that barrier shows up, it's kind of difficult for me to tap in and see exactly, or understand exactly what you're feeling. But if you could speak another language, like one of my languages is music. If you speak a musical language to me, I may be better able to tap in. But I can see when someone is hurting. And more importantly, I can see and feel when I've hurt someone, right? Now, how they process it, I can't tap into their process, right? Or how they're processing the emotions, but I can see when I've hurt someone, and I can feel it as well. Within human relationships, there exists a spectrum of empathy that transcends the conventional boundaries of understanding and connection. At the intersection of emotional intricacies and psychological nuances, The concept of dark empathy, or the dark empath, emerges as a compelling yet treacherous terrain to navigate. Ooh, Lord, this is going to be hard. We're going to try to delve into the potential pitfalls of dealing with dark empaths and explore the intricate relationship between dark empathy, narcissistic tendencies, and even attachment styles, right? The enigmatic figure of a dark empath embodies a paradoxical blend of empathetic abilities coupled with manipulative tendencies, seeking to weave a web of emotional entrapment. Is this real? Yeah, this is interesting. Dark empaths possess a unique ability to understand and mirror the emotions of others, allowing them to navigate interpersonal dynamics with deceptive ease and precision. However, beneath the facade of empathy, or of this dark empathy, right, lies a darker undercurrent of manipulation and exploitation, where the lines between genuine care and calculated control blur into obscurity. Let me tell you something about care. When you care about somebody, you don't want nothing. You just care. This is a basic way to see it. If you feel like you losing control via their care, something's off. Right? A person that cares about you genuinely really doesn't want anything from you. They don't need your acknowledgement. They don't need your approval. We talking about caring people. We're talking about loving people. They don't want nothing. You remember that time I cared for you? You remember that time? Oh, Lord, here we go. When we come forward, we go into the phone lines. I want to talk to y'all tonight. Have you been in a relationship with an empathetic thespian? Talk to me.
What's your name and number? Is it true that you think I'm hot? If we try to get to know each other, you might find you couldn't trade me for another, 'cause I think you're...
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A voting rights proposal named in honor of a former black congressman from Atlanta is back on the table in Washington. U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock says that a Senate Judiciary Committee will consider the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which brings back some safeguards of the original Voting Rights Act of 1965. Lewis served in office for over 15 terms after his time serving in early efforts to help the civil rights movement. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell says she does not have the keys to that controversial French Quarter apartment. City Council members recently authorized the council's attorney to request an eviction order from a judge. Cantrell, who is black, says it's the French Market Corporation that controls it. Council will vote soon on whether to order the city attorney to start eviction proceedings. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
If you're a recent grad or work in social services or a related field, there's an exciting new career opportunity as a certified wellness coach. Visit cawellnesscoach.org, supported by the California Department of Healthcare Access and Information.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
LADWP is proud to partner with KBLA to share with you how to start the new year without bill worries. We're here to help if you're behind on your bill or need help staying current. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to set predictable monthly payments throughout the year, including for past due amounts. You can also check out the special extended pay arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. If you're a senior or income qualified, you may be eligible for Easy Save to receive discounts and also qualify for free and discounted energy and water saving devices. You can get up to $15,000 for past due water and or sewer bills and up to $3,000 for electric bills. But you gotta act fast, funding is limited. You can reduce your past due bills and kick off the year right, because here at LADWP, we're here to help. Visit ladwp.com/cares today and find out more.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Watch out! You got me! The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just had a fight with my woman over something trivial told. We rarely have confrontation, and if the I said really was bold, I think she get it from my mama. Her bitterness passed down from old. When I'm calling out her drama, she too defensive to listen. I'll call so. Look at me, I got problems. You got the type of advice that I need. I couldn't get through on the mention series. Dana was hogging up the time that I need. Between working or being so clingy, plus the time zone difference don't make it more easy. Oh, so I figured I'd call in early. Turn my life down, mercy, I got through. You tuned in, that's the show. Yeah. That's the show. So just lay back your mind. Something new. Everybody tuning in the zone. Cause he is the reason,
Here's a question that was sent in. The narcissistic person in my life actually thinks he is empathic. What the hell? Well, what the hell indeed. So let's break that one down. I know that this question asker is not the only person. In fact, we've gotten this question many times, which is, what? So if you ever had this happen, I mean, if you have, drop it in the comments. You're dealing with a deeply narcissistic person who has almost no empathy whatsoever, and they think of themselves as being deeply empathic, nice people. And they say it with a straight face, like, I'm the most empathic person in the room. And you're like, oh, hello. Like, and you really think now you're in the twilight zone. I recall actually working with someone years ago who was so narcissistic, really vindictive, super mean, absolutely unaware of the needs or feelings of anyone around him, friends, family, partner, colleagues, and would frequently say to me out loud, tell me, hey, Doc, aren't I the most generous person you've ever known? And then he would go on to share with me stories about how he tipped a server hundreds of dollars, or he overpaid someone who was working for him. I'm sure maybe that server at that moment might have thought he was empathic, but nobody else. And he was not. It can feel gaslighty when you are in what feels like a one-way relationship and having your feelings invalidated by the other person who views themselves as super empathic. You doubt yourself. You wonder if you're missing something. You wonder, maybe I'm the one who's not empathic because I guess they did give a big tip and I don't give such a big tip, so maybe I don't have empathy. So it's important to know that a core element of narcissism is diminished insight. People with a narcissistic personality style really don't have the capacity for self-reflection, the ability to accurately and meaningfully look inward and be aware of how their behavior affects others, or even their motivations for their behaviors. Narcissism is basically a series of defenses a person is surrounded by that protect them in their fragile ego. And part of that self-protection is to believe things about themselves that are considered good things, but that are simply untrue, like how empathic they are. My interest, though, is how this affects you, how it affects survivors of these relationships. I mean, right out the gate, it's important to understand what empathy is. The ability and a desire to understand the feelings and
Oh my God. Dr. Romney, whoa! Listen. Real empathy has no agenda. Real love has no agenda. Most of our relationships are predicated on standards and beliefs that were written by our unhealed wounds. There is your agenda. You ain't met a person yet who is in a relationship for nothing. Do you hear me? Have you met somebody yet that is in one for nothing? I simply love this person. That's why they're here. Huh? You can't be empathetic if your agenda instructs your empathy. You can't be loving if your expectations and desired relationship outcomes dictate how you love. Do you see? This is the world we live in. This is why psychologists can sit back and say, a fair guesstimate would be 1 in 6 people are narcissistic. And now, this new concept, the dark empath. What? Cold empathy or cognitive, i.e., intellectual empathy. I can tell you're going through something. I can ascertain intellectually that this hurt you. And if I get good enough with my method acting in relationships, I can then convince you that I feel you. You feel me? Do you feel where I'm coming from? Yeah, I feel exactly where you're coming from. I've been there myself. I feel it. I feel it right here. Man, you got some real slick characters out there that will fake feeling and employ it as a tool of manipulation so that they can gain or maintain control. 1-800-920-1580. We got callers on the line. Nazarene X from Atlanta, Georgia. Get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, well, I first seen the topic. I thought you was going to talk about how to make your your companion get that act right for real.
No, I don't.
Like on the method mode, like
that's never our job to make our partners or companions understand anything. That's never our job. But go ahead, brother. Finish your thought.
Well, yeah, because I would. Well, look, I wouldn't wholly disagree, but how OG be like, my factual opinion is, if it's a cold-blooded, it's a cold read that you're doing when you acting like you got feelings this forever, because feelings are temporary, faith is eternal type of thing.
Huh.
Like, either way, it's about the script. You the one that speak on self-authorship, so as long as it's like it ain't forced, which is where I feel you on that. It's like it ain't forced unless, say, the force that we compelled with is calling me to do this. Like, I ain't got no choices. It's my purpose to ensure that around me ain't nothing but understanding. Like that type of freestyle, free wave. I mean, we can bounce off the energies and all of that, but again, when I hear method actors, regardless, I think if you just listening to your role at the moment and you're around the people that you're supposed to be around, I mean, it makes sense.
No, I got you, brother. I got you.
So, like, do the method actors do cold reads?
Right.
Nah, they do?
Yes.
Or not?
Yeah.
Oh, dope. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like, it feel that way. Or if that's the case, cool. I mean, but at the end of the day, the what you call it, if the director decides to change his or her mind, that's one thing. Post-production is another thing. But again, like, you extra, you an extra. Like, whatever we doing, like, I'm interested in multiplying industries. And apparently a woman is the only creature on earth that I'm not going to understand by birthright.
No,
I'm comfortable living. So, like, I'm going to act like I understand this woman. But women already know.
Are you saying you're a method actor? Is that what you're telling me, brother?
That's what it's supposed to be. I'm just appreciative. I'm grateful. I'm a willing participant in the edification of God as best as I can say. So if I know I ain't acting there, but there's a voice of reason. So I got to come up with whatever type of reason it is. I'm not the type to do a lot of explaining.
Nah, man. Hey, I appreciate the call, Nazarene. You over here cooking, man. Guess what you just did? Yes, sir. He brought the A in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, we looking for L.A. We got Augusta, Georgia. We got Oakland, California. When I come forward, I'm going back to the phone lines. I love your input.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So a narcissist isn't just tapping into this empathy piece of like they're like super emotional with everybody else but you. Typically, it's this aspect of cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy is where I know and I understand, but it doesn't necessarily pluck my heartstrings. Like, it doesn't really make me feel anything. It's just like, oh, I know this is what's happening. I just don't care. Okay, so a lot of times a narcissist will use the cognitive empathy to manipulate, to control other people. So if the cognitive empathy is there, they can connect with people on a certain level, making people in these small touch points feel loved, feel appreciated, all these different aspects, but it's not actually in a different depth. It's not in a depth of like, okay, let me change my behavior. Let me actually help in a different way. Instead, it's like, let me do this for this person. Let me have cognitive empathy for this specific person because it helps my image, because how it helps I look on society and what they think of me.
Woo! Empathy with a payoff? Empathy as an investment? Come on, y'all. Are y'all serious? Is this real out here in these streets? A new Bitcoin called empathy. I'm going to give you a bit of empathy because ultimately it makes me look better. Ultimately, I gain more control over you. Transactional empathy? Come on, Attila, this is crazy. And let me tell you, I'm not crazy because a lot of people have experienced this. Doesn't it, can I just be honest with you? Doesn't it make you feel, or have you ever wondered, how is it that a person could never be in love with anyone else the way they've been in love with you? You've made them feel unlike anybody they've ever met, right? You've taken them to a place that they'd never been before in terms of love, right? You're the love of their life. And the moment things go sideways and the human in you show up, they begin to treat you as if that love never existed. See, we're playing games with words. It was the great Krishnamurti who said, we don't use language. Language uses us. See, I don't believe that love loses steam, or I don't believe that love is subject to the laws of physics, in particular, entropy. I don't think love can run out. What I believe is the majority of human beings simply are not evolved to the level of reaching love. Love is a consciousness level, right? Just like Abraham Maslow talks about his hierarchy of needs. Well, at the top of that pyramid is self-actualization, self-realization. Very few people get to the top of the pyramid, right? So love on a lower level, isn't it interesting? If you look at psychology and Abraham Maslow and his humanism work, right? He was one of the few that was in humanism, right? Isn't it interesting that our type of love operates at the bottom rung of his hierarchy needs, or his need hierarchy? Food, clothes, warmth, shelter. Isn't that interesting that the majority of our relationships are hovering around the bottom three, bottom four levels of the need hierarchy? Isn't that interesting? Rarely do you find somebody who loves for nothing. Rarely do you find someone who empathizes with you, the human in you, for nothing. Isn't this interesting? Cold-blooded. A riveting look into the lives of relationship method actors. Many people are acting like they care. Many people are acting like they're concerned. But many people are doing it because there's some kind of payoff associated with it. We got callers on the line. Willie, Augusta, Georgia, get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? Willie.
I don't know. It's kind of weird, man.
What's up,
Can you
good
hear me?
brother? Yes, Willie. Hey, now, Willie, we on live radio, so no profanity, my good friend. Talk
I
to
got
me,
you,
man.
man.
What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, I guess you got to be, as far as being empathic to a situation like that. I mean, you had already said you was a Gemini. I'm a Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
So when we love hard.
Yes, sir.
I don't think it has anything to do with empathy. You just got to understand somebody.
Talk to me, brother. I'm listening.
And the reason why I say that is, as long as there's a respect there, you kind of put it on the head. You can understand somebody all the way across the board, but you got to have some type of empathy. If you don't have any empathy in a relationship, it's not going to work.
That's true. I'm with you, brother.
Nah.
I'm with you now. I'm with you. We rocking right now. I'm with you. Now,
that was my whole point.
So, what's your style? Are you a cognitive empathy? Do you use cognitive empathy, or do you genuinely feel? Do you feel the emotions of someone else?
No, you can feel the emotions off of anybody, and it depends on. I'm an empath by nature, so I know when something is wrong with you, and I'll feel it worse than you do.
Ooh, hey, Willie.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a black man. That's a black man's perspective on that right there.
Hey, Willie,
it
guess
might
what?
hurt me.
No, go ahead, brother. It might hurt you.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, guess what you just did, my friend?
What's that?
You brought Augusta, Georgia in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, you know the routine. All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. The voice of reason is on complete fire right now. Let me get Sean from Oakland in here. Sean, we up against the clock, so I need you to get it there, man.
Oh, you know I will. Brother Zoe, so a narcissist, right, is only really concerned about themselves, and it's really only about control. So all of us have confidence. Let's not confuse confidence with narcissism.
Right.
That's a huge thing I wanted to tell you, brother, is that you're superior confident in yourself. That is not narcissism.
Wait, Sean, you are cooking. I got to hold you over. I'm sorry.
All
You're
right.
cooking. You
All right,
just getting started. So listen, when we come forward, we're going back to Oakland, California, because guess what? Sean ain't taking no prisoners.